I I got mad. I got mad. I'm trying to do a video about technology, and my robot vacuum cleaner started up and interrupted me, and I got mad. I'm starting to sound like my father. Stupid phone. No, Dad, it's a smartphone, actually. You just don't know how to use it. I listen, in every way, I wish that I was more like my father. They just don't make them like him anymore, except for the fact that he was technology averse. I didn't want that part. In every other way, I would give anything to be more like my dad. But that's not what we're talking about today. I'm typical dad. I'm 55 years old. And apparently, I'm not just talking about technology, but apparently, I am documenting the singularity. And if you don't know what I'm talking about when I say the singularity, maybe you should stick around for a minute because this is wild. This is absolutely wild. We're talking about technology and the exponential growth that is happening right now. And to demonstrate, I'm going to talk about this software called OpenClaw. If you haven't heard of it before, you've been living under a rock or you're just not into tech, which is fine. If you've heard of it before, don't worry. I'm not going to give a full history lesson. I'm just going to give brief snippets. I'm going to play a couple of clips of other people talking about it, and then we'll close up with some an encouraging word, I hope, about technology. So OpenClaw is an AI agent that lives on your computer. And so basically what we've gotten used to, those of us who are using AI, we've gotten used to the chatbots, ChatGPT, Grok, Gemini. We go in, we type in something, hey, what's the definition of this word? Instead of Googling or going to an old fashioned dictionary. OpenClaw is this, what they're calling it is the most consequential piece of software that has been released in our lifetime. And because I've been alive so long, I've been there for all of the software releases, every one of them. So this got my attention. OpenClaw was released in November of 2025 by another name, Claudebot, MaltClaw, something, I don't know. It changed. By the end of January 2026, it's called OpenClaw, and that's the name that has stuck. The inventor of OpenClaw he was frustrated because the AI that he was exposed to, you couldn't really do anything with it. Now, when I say you couldn't do anything with it, I have two pictures in my mind. One is the internet when it first came out. You could log in, you could go to a website and look at a picture of some clothes. Like I remember going to the Macy's website, only the really big companies had their own website. And you could go to Macy's website and you could see clothes, pictures of clothes, right? You couldn't buy them. There was no checkout. You could just look at them. So the internet was there. You could get some information off of it, but you couldn't really do anything. The other picture I have in my mind is the top tier 1% of computer gurus in the world. They could do something with it. Okay. They were the one, I mean, the top 1%, they were the ones who were making the websites back then. And now they're the ones who are using AI to actually do stuff. All right. For everybody else, when the internet first came out, it was fun, it was cool. You couldn't really do anything with it. You could look at a picture. For everybody else, AI has been the same way. You couldn't really do anything with it. You could make a picture. You could ask it a question, just like a Google search. That is changing so fast. I'm having a hard time keeping up with it. The top 1% of people who are involved are having a hard time keeping up with it. I'm using OpenClaw as kind of a case study for how fast this is moving. November 2025, OpenClaw comes out, and what it does is you can download it, and it runs like an AI agent on your computer. So, unlike the AI that we've been using up to this point, with OpenClaw, you can actually do something. Imagine the internet, Macy's, you can look at a piece of clothing, you look at a picture of a dress, but you can't actually buy it. You can't actually do anything with it. And now imagine a couple of years later, the internet, you can go to the Macy's website, you can look at a dress, you can check the sizing chart, you can check out, place the order, and they ship it to you. We're in that moment now with AI. AI came out, you could talk to it, you could generate an image, a not very good one. Now, today, you can actually do something with it with OpenClaw. You download OpenClaw, it can manage your files, it can send emails, it can go online, it can build apps, it can code, it can rewrite code on your computer. And that's why it is so dangerous, because OpenClaw has admin rights on your computer just like you do. So whatever you can do on your computer, it can do on your computer. And I'm just remembering my mother. She would always call, I think I messed up my computer. Go, what'd you do? Well, I went to this, it said C colon. I'm like, no, 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 no. Well, I saw this file that said dot index, and I didn't think I needed that, so I deleted it. No, 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 no. So OpenClaw can kill your computer just as fast as my mother killed her computer. So, but it's dangerous. So now, March 16th. Let me back up. OpenClaw comes out in November 2025. It's so dangerous, but so cool. Everybody wants it, but they're afraid to put it on their primary machine. So that's why they say you need a separate computer, one that just has OpenClaw on it. Don't give it access to your personal files. Don't give it your personal email account. Don't give it passwords to anything, because your entire life could be out on the internet for the public to see, or it could all get deleted. So buy a separate machine. Alex Finn is maybe the OpenClaw guru, maybe other than the guy who created it. Um, he's super intelligent. He's engaging. He's energetic. He's gaining quite the following. He's got bunches of computers daisy chained together, running OpenClaw agents, sub agents. He's the master. Okay, so I started following him and watching his stuff. He said, buy a Mac Mini. Okay, why would I buy a Mac Mini? Because Mac computers have unified memory and you can do more with it with an agent. So I procrastinated, partly because I was moving and partly because I'm old enough to know you don't jump on the bandwagon as soon as, the first round. You don't buy the first model of a car when it comes out because it's going to have problems. You wait for the second iteration. So I waited. Beginning of March, I decided, okay, I'm going to do this. I don't want to get left behind with technology. It's moving so fast. I need to try and keep up. So I ordered a Mac, and it was a 2-month back order. 2 months. I cannot remember a time when I wanted to buy a computer and it was on back order for 2 months. That's how crazy people are going over this OpenClaw. Mac computers are just about sold out. Alex Finn is probably buying most of them. Just kidding. Um, I'm very happy for him, but I need to tell you something. When they say that this is the greatest software release of all time, when I hear software, and when most people think of software, they think, oh, I get a disk and I put it in my computer and run it. Or nowadays I go online, download the software, do you want for Mac or do you want for Windows? And download it, install, update it, get the latest version, and now I have a window, a Microsoft Word window, an interface, or I've got a Excel interface, or I've got an Epic game interface where I can play Fortnite. Um, and so we're thinking about interfaces. I'm old enough to remember when we had terminals. I remember when my company got its first computer. I feel like 555 instead of just 55. That's what technology does to you. So when they say software, when they say OpenClaw is software, they're not talking about download and install and run it and you get an interface. This is what they're talking about. Right. So to drive this point home, there goes my robot. I thought I paused that thing. My robot is interrupting my tech video again. Doggone it. Pretty sure I paused that. It's a conspiracy. So, in order to drive home the point that software, when they say software, they're not talking about software for you and me. Okay, I need to drive that point home. So watch this, and if you can understand it, then you should get OpenClaw.
Points. And then we had the issue of the hard-coded logic for version being latest. We basically did a manual patch of JavaScript in the resolve and verified JavaScript files. And so we have Docker running on the host, then we're inside the sandbox, and to communicate, we had to set up a relay to tunnel those Docker commands back to the host. And because the sandbox is isolated and we also don't have tools like sudo or OpenShell within the sandbox environment, we had to then inject those binaries from the host into the sandbox. So what did we learn so far? One is this is still an alpha release, so there's going to be some issues. So don't trust defaults that are just shipped out by a company. And when you're dealing with a layer of security like this, you also put a damper on permissions. And you have to balance the two. It can't just be completely locked down, otherwise you can't do anything. And if you're trying to run this yourself and running into issues, take a look at the network settings as well, because that is creating a little bit of a challenge to figure out the communication between WSL, Docker, IP versions, and even firewalls. So I would say this version is ready for engineers and coders who understand Docker, who understand network layers. But for the general use person who's maybe dabbed into OpenClaw a little bit, I would wait. I'll continue to troubleshoot it some more and see if I can get it to work, because ultimately I want that solution.
OpenClaw has been described as our Jarvis moment. So I want that. And I'm excited about that, but I'm nervous because I don't know how to code. I don't know how to do what that guy was doing. And I'm worried that by the time my Mac gets here, that OpenClaw is going to be old news. There's going to be something new. All right. So March 16th, this Monday, today's Wednesday, the 18th, Monday, uh, NVIDIA's conference, GTC, they announce NemoClaw. And when I first heard it, because I was at work, I have a job where I can kind of listen to podcasts in the background while I work. They announced NemoClaw. When I first heard it, I thought, okay, OpenClaw's getting superseded. It wasn't, and I had to work late that day. It wasn't really until yesterday that I really got to kind of dig into what is NemoClaw. NemoClaw is a security blanket that you wrap around. Remember when you were a kid, you had your security blanket, your whoopee? NemoClaw is a whoopee for OpenClaw. All right. And it makes it safe for the average user. As I thought about this, I had a light bulb moment. Light bulb. Uh, I can put OpenClaw on my primary computer. I don't have to wait for the Mac Mini to show up because it's safe now. Great. So I can't do what that guy just did. That was the YouTube channel Sonic Combinator. Sonic Combinator. I'm trying to put a link down in the description to his video. Give him credit. So I was so excited. I got home yesterday at 6 o'clock. I stopped by the pizza joint down the street, grabbed a couple of slices of pepperoni, came in, sat right down on my computer, and got to work. Now I'm kind of tech savvy, so for me, I think. So I had Grok open. Hey Grok, I'm fixing to download NemoClaw. What do I do? And it was great. We were working. We were trying to get it going. It seemed like it was working, and then I ran into snags just like that guy did. And then I ran into a snag with Grok because I ran out of tokens. It wanted me to upgrade because I was on the free version. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll pay the $30. And then, I don't know, it seemed like 5 minutes later, I ran out of tokens again. What are you talking about? Now it wants me to upgrade to the $300 version. No, 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 no. I copied and pasted. This is what it's like living through the Singularity. I copied and pasted all of our transcript from that conversation and gave it to ChatGPT, and it was worthless for this. I like ChatGPT, but it was not doing good. So I handed it to Gemini. Gemini did seem like it was doing great for a while. 4.5 hours. I worked for 4.5 hours that night, and I couldn't get it. I think OpenClaw with the NemoClaw wrapper is installed on my computer, but I can't do anything with it. I can't figure it out. I spent another hour on it this morning before work. Can't figure it out, and I want it to work. So I go to work today and I'm listening to my podcast in the background. Okay. Um, I'm gonna play another video clip. So Monday, so November 2025, OpenClaw. March 16th, Monday, NVIDIA puts out NemoClaw so that now we can put OpenClaw on our computers, theoretically. Uh, so the very next day, Tuesday, while I'm trying to figure all this out, Google says, "Oh, we're getting into this." Remember, one of the main things about OpenClaw is that you can access it remotely. Send it a message from your phone. Hey, do this thing for me, and it does it. Google's like, "Oh, okay. Here's what we're gonna do." So watch this.
Google just dropped a new free personal intelligence update to Gemini, and it could change AI forever. Yesterday, Google handled every single person in the United States, something that used to be expensive. And I don't mean a small upgrade. I don't mean a minor tweak. I mean, Google just gave free user access to something that could genuinely change how you use the internet every single day for the rest of your life. Google is bringing personal intelligence to all Gemini users, the free ones, not just people paying for subscriptions, rolling it out across AI mode in Search, the Gemini app, and Gemini in Chrome. And the moment I saw this, I had to talk about this because here's what this actually means. And I'm going to make it really simple. Imagine you had a personal assistant, not a robot, not a chatbot, a real human assistant who has read every single email you've ever sent, who has looked through every photo on your phone, who understands your browsing history, who knows what you bought last month, who knows where you've traveled even, and what food you like. Now imagine that assistant can answer the question you have in real time. That's what Google just gave away for free. And I keep
All right, so now Google's in the game, right? They've released some of their AI suite to everybody, and it's not exactly an AI agent, but you can interact with it and ask it questions about your files and your pictures and your emails and all of that stuff. You can already do some of this stuff if you're a subscriber of Google's AI suite, but now they're making it free to everybody, and I'm excited because it's coming. Free AI is coming, I think. Um, but it's not exactly a replacement for OpenClaw. It doesn't supersede OpenClaw, so I'm okay. My Mac Mini will be here in about 6 weeks. I'm still okay until today, March 18th. Anthropic gets involved. Watch this.
Claude Dispatch, Claude's biggest AI update this week. Imagine you're sitting at your desk on a Tuesday morning, you've got a meeting in 20 minutes, your inbox has 47 unread emails, you've got a report due by the end of the day, a spreadsheet you haven't touched, a presentation that needs to be built from scratch, and 3 client files that need to be sorted and organized before your call this afternoon. That's a normal Tuesday for most people who are running a business, growing a brand, managing a team, or just trying to stay on top of the work. Now, imagine something different. Imagine you pick up your phone while you're still in bed at 7 a.m. You type 4 sentences into an app. You put your phone down, you make your coffee, you take a shower, maybe you go for a walk, and by the time you sit down at your desk, the report is written, the spreadsheet is built, the presentation is done, the files are organized, the emails are triaged and drafted. You didn't do any of that. Your AI did. Not just answering your questions, not just giving you suggestions, not just generating text you have to copy and paste somewhere else, actually doing your work on your computer, in your folders, creating real files that are sitting there waiting for you. This is what happened today. Anthropic just shipped something called Dispatch for Claude Cowork.
Okay, I'm putting links to all those. I'm gonna try if I can figure it out. I wish I had an AI agent that just said, "Hey, put links to these videos in my YouTube video." Right? Um, and so now Anthropic's involved, and now I've got to stop working on my OpenClaw and NemoClaw stuff, and I got to go figure out if this Anthropic thing with Claude is a good deal, if that will do everything I want it to do. Maybe it won't build me a business, but maybe it can help me run my life. This is what I'm suggesting. I'm suggesting that you start. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to start every time I sit down at my computer, I'm going to start making a list of what I'm doing. I'm checking my emails. I'm responding to emails. I am working on my finances. I've got a spreadsheet or I've got an app that I use for my finances. I'm making a YouTube video. Start writing down all of the things that you use the computer for and start asking yourself what software is available out there that could do this for me. if it doesn't already exist, it will very soon.
Ahmad Mostak, welcome to the next big idea.
Thank you for having me on.
Ahmad, most people right now, I think, are walking around expecting the world to remain largely the same. They're refinancing 30-year mortgages. They're starting college savings accounts for their newborn children. What don't they realize? How much do you think the world's going to change in the next 1,000 days?
It's been just over 1,000 days since the release of ChatGPT. And now you're seeing entire stock market moves of hundreds of billions of dollars on the back of research reports even about what's coming out, or just a single feature release from Anthropic. I think that it's a good idea to borrow as much as you can right now because the entire economy is going to shift. You probably won't have to repay it, like live in the now.
Wow.
But people are definitely misunderstanding the scale of an unprecedented change. It's like when water turns to gas, when we are suddenly not the most capable entities in the world, and then not the smartest entities in the world. And those are the two changes that are coming up right now.
I mean, this is an important question to get thought through.
Yeah. Well, one side recommendation I have is don't worry about squirreling money away for retirement in 10 or 20 years. It won't matter.
No.
Okay.
Either we're not going to be here, or
It just you won't need to save for retirement. If any of the things that we've said are true, saving for retirement will be irrelevant.
the services will be there to support you. You'll have the home, you'll have the healthcare, you'll have the entertainment.
The way this unfolds is fundamentally impossible to predict because of self-improvement of the AI and the accelerating timeline.
Yeah, it's called
Any
Singularity for a
solution-
reason.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't know what happens after the event horizon.
Exactly. You can never see past the black hole or the event horizon, the
Yeah.
light